Today I'm heading to my homestead garden and I'm going to be harvesting some green beans I planted in July. So stay tuned. Hello folks, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. This is my homestead garden. I've been working really hard this year at developing and figuring out what grows well and when it grows well. So in July I planted green beans. Now as you can tell, these green beans grew really well in the warmth of the July and August temperatures. They are now ready to harvest. I planted these, I believe, in the middle or first week of July, and now it is September 21st. So we're going to go ahead and grab the beans out of here that are harvestable, and then I'm going to take them in the house, and I'm going to do a canning on our Homestead canning series. So stay tuned for that series. Let's get these things harvested. Ah yes, we've got harvestable green beans here. I love green beans. Absolutely love them. So let's see how much we get from one single plant. Okay, that's how many I got from one plant. Let's continue and see how many cans we're going to end up with this year. Those are weenie beans. They're really small. So we'll save those for a late harvest. I guess I should have put these on trellises or on those tomato racks. It would have been probably done them a little bit better. Oh, these are fairly simple. This is the first time ever growing these and harvesting them, and so it'll be the first time ever for me canning them. I'm really excited because I really love the flavor of fresh green beans and canned green beans, and I'll snack on these out here in the garden. They're very tasty. This is a big plant. The roots of this one tapped into some really good nutrients. Oh yeah, it's loaded with them. Glory be. Kneel down so it's easier on my back. I really taxed the muscles in my back when I was over there last week working on the generator. You know, bending over the generator and holding that pose while I was doing the wiring. It really caused some sore back muscles, but they're still a little sore. Man, I'm loving what I'm seeing, and so I know this variety of bean does very well here in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest, and the family really loves eating these. Now I don't have any more pigs. I harvested the last one, so I can't feed this to them, so this will go into the compost bin, that new compost bin I built, because I want to create that layer of compost that I saw is what do they call that? They call that a lasagna style compost. You lay browns and greens and roughage yeah, different ones to get a good healthy compost going. Heck, I am getting so many more beans off of these than I anticipated. I had no idea. And there's still blooms for more beans to grow. Okay, next plant. Wow. There's like a bazillion beans on this plant. My word. Well, he leave those little beans for later. My chickens are in the garden picking out the bugs. That's okay. We're at the end of the growing season, and usually I don't let them be in the garden while I'm planting and allowing the seeds to grow, because they'll tear those seeds right out of the ground. They love their little dust baths. So I'm going to completely fence in my whole garden so the chickens can't get in here, but they can access the backyard, and also to really access that the deer simply cannot get in the garden. I had a deer in the garden again here a couple days ago, and if that happens again, it's freezer camp. Well, it is hunting season. I got to go down and get my tags. We're getting really close, so I can get the protein, enough protein, a variety of protein for the year. So we had some hot weather, and these beans did really good with that short hot summer that we had. And this year we had a relatively shorter heat, but we still had warm temperatures, so that was sufficient to allow these things to grow. I have a feeling I'm going to need a bigger basket. Oh my goodness, look at that already. Yeah, look at all these beans. My. Okay. I'm gobsmacked, as my European friends would say. Yes, I have friends in Europe. I have a new friend in India, which is cool. I hope he doesn't work at one of those call centers that scams people. That would be really dismaying. Wow! Look at all this. Holy mungus. I think we're going to be set for the year with green beans. That's all right. I love sharing. Don't mind that at all. Maybe you can teach my granddaughter how to can. She wants to join 4-H and get into rabbits. I was in 4-H when I was in grade school, I think the 5th grade. Let's see if I remember what the 4-H's are. Head, heart, hands, and health. Maybe not in that order, but I think head, heart, hands, and health. Yep, that's what it is. And I haven't been linked up with 4-H for years. Good program for kids learning different skills and horticulture, agriculture, animal husbandry. They have kitchen canning and all kinds of programs for kids, which is it's really good to have. And the volunteers are just absolutely exemplary people, I give my hats off to you. Yeah, my hat's off to you. Oh boy. I did not expect to get such an abundance. This is a huge blessing. Golly. Yeah, look at all of them just right down in there. Just hanging out, waiting to go to the canning process and then to the family's belly. There is no, it's such a great feeling to grow your own food because you know exactly where it's been, what's in it, and what you choose to put in it when you preserve it. This is, and then put it on the table and have your family enjoy what you labored to eat or to grow and preserve. Now, I don't need to let any of these go to seed because I've got plenty of seed left over for next year. And I might use some of that to go to seed next year. Boy, I missed a whole plant here. I love being in the garden. Raising livestock and being in the garden, I just absolutely love it. I've been doing it since I was in the 4th grade. I started my first garden, and it was about the size of one of these raised beds. And I grew some simple crops, but that was my first time planting. And then I had 2 pet ducks. They were Rowans. They looked like mallards. They were flightless. And I named them Fussy and Sugar because Fussy was just a fussy bucket. And Sugar was the sweetest. Turned out Sugar was the boy and Fussy was the girl. Yeah, it was funny. We lived over on the coast in this small community on the Oregon coast. And my ducks were, well, we lived in town. And there was this little old lady that would walk by our house on her way to do her marketing. And let me back up a minute here. Sugar, my female duck, got ate by a raccoon. I was so distraught being a kid and losing his first pet. Oh, I was so angry at that raccoon. I hunted for that sucker for days. Could never find it. I looked in every tree around, looking where its house was. I could not find it. But I protected Sugar. Anyway, that little old lady would walk down our street on her way to do her marketing, and Sugar would run out into the street and he would peck at her shoelaces as she went down the road to the market. And she'd giggle and laugh all the way while that silly duck was just pecking at her shoelaces. And he wouldn't go too far. He'd go just so far to the edge of the yard, and he'd turn around and go back. And she thought that was the doggonedest thing. Well, she would deliberately walk on our side of the street just to have that encounter with that silly duck. So when she come home from marketing, the duck saw her, went back out, and did what a duck does to shoestrings. He dabbled at them all the way up the street to the other edge of our property. And of course she giggled all the way, and it was the cutest thing. Simple pleasures in life. A pet duck. So I've always loved ducks. Always. My favorite animal. And that's why I have ducks on my homestead. I've had ducks for years. Now, I do process duck, and we do eat them because that's what they're for. They're for food. And they're delicious. Absolutely delicious. But they also make great entertainment. You can't tell where this bush ends. Holy moly. I wonder who at one time decided, hey, this looks tasty, let me try to eat that. I wonder what it tastes like if we boiled it. Ooh, even better. Let's develop a way to preserve it through the winter months. I wonder who decided to test what is good for food and what is not. And what I observed is that, now this is an assumption, the Native Americans would observe the wildlife around their environment and noted what they ate. Some of it was for medicines, some of it was for food, and they noted the seasons in which they ate them. So, because they were ripe at the time. And deer, like, they forage. They eat a little nibble here and a little nibble there. They don't eat everything of one item. They just go and forage a little bit here and a little bit there, and they have a belly full of a variety of things, a meal. Kind of like what we have on our dinner plates. And I think the Native Americans learned by observing what the animals ate, as far as berries and nuts, because if they didn't die from eating them, surely the early peoples of this land wouldn't be afraid to try it. Just thoughts and ramblings in the garden. It's okay. I don't mind if you don't mind. I'm almost done. I got 1 or 2 more bushes to go. And good thing my basket, and this is a very large basket, is overflowing already. I had no idea it was going to be this much food. No idea. Now I know. This was a total experiment for me. First time ever doing this. And now, I guarantee you, it will not be the last time. Because my family and I, well, we love green beans. Okay, last few. I think we're done. Guess what I'll be doing tonight? Yep, canning. I'll leave some for the little squirrels that manage to scurry this way. Well, that's it. I've got a full basket. Full. Well, that concludes this episode on the Homestead Garden and harvesting green beans. Look at that bounty. That is wonderful. Please stay tuned to more videos. You can do that by subscribing, giving me a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and clicking that share button, sharing our videos on your social media platforms. Got a bug in my mouth. You can also help out the channel by making a purchase from our store down below. I have some coffee mugs and t-shirts and sweatshirts and such. I also left some links down below to some videos that I really want to share with you guys and show you how I was able to find cheap land and a cheap house. There's a whole series of them that collectively they give you a lot of detailed information on what I come up with and what I experienced firsthand myself. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Reddit. We're on Blogger, Tumblr. I'm also on Facebook. I'm on Jerry Hanson, and then I'm also on LinkedIn. Hey, thank you guys for joining me on this episode in the garden. Stay tuned for the canning. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.